Attention, Chicago Bears fans. Can you imagine a signing that could fortify our offensive line and protect our quarterback like never before? That's right. There's a star guard on the radar who could change everything. But will we be able to get him before another team snatches him up? Stay tuned to find out. But wait, it doesn't end here. Can we afford to lose one of our pillars on the offensive line? No way. This player has been crucial, but his future is at stake. What will the Bears do to ensure we don't lose him? Don't go anywhere because things are about to get intense. And to top it off, get ready for a possible bombshell on defense. Remember that pass rusher who made us dream of glory? He could be back. Could this be the move we need to turn our defense into an impenetrable wall? Hey, Chicago Bears fans, today we have some hot news that could change the course of our team next season. Let me ask you, what do we need more than anything right now? Exactly, a solid offensive line to protect our quarterback, Caleb Williams. And this is where Trey Smith comes into play, the guard that every team would want to have. Let me tell you something, Trey Smith is no ordinary player. This man is a wall on the Kansas City Chiefs line. At just 25 years old, his performance this season has been spectacular. Do you know his Pro Football Focus, PFF, rating? A solid 77.6. That places him 15th among all guards in the league. But wait, there's more. His pass blocking grade is 67.3, and his run blocking grade is an impressive 81.2. And here's the best part. He's played 976 snaps and hasn't allowed a single sack. Isn't this exactly what we need on the Bears? Yes, I know what you're thinking. But how much would he cost? I tell you this, friends, Trey Smith would be worth every penny. If the Chicago Bears have the chance to sit down and talk with him in free agency, they should do it without hesitation. Brad Biggs of the Chicago Tribune is right in saying that the team's rebuilding must start with the offensive line. Protecting Caleb Williams should be our #1 priority, and Smith is the key piece to achieving it. Now, let's talk about the long-term vision. Imagine an ideal scenario where the Bears get Smith and also manage to draft Will Campbell from LSU. Campbell, although he played tackle in the SEC, is considered the best lineman in this draft class. If we achieve this, we could have a dream offensive line. Campbell and Braxton Jones on the left side, Smith as the right guard next to Darnell Wright, and we would only need to sign a veteran center to complete Williams' protection. But friends, it's not all rosy. There's a real possibility that the Kansas City Chiefs won't let Smith go. Many believe the Chiefs will do whatever it takes to keep him, either with a juicy contract or by using the franchise tag. Biggs warns us not to get our hopes up too high, as Smith is likely to not hit the free agent market. Even so, let's not stop dreaming. If the Chiefs fail to secure their star, the Chicago Bears should be ready to bid for his services. After all, after another disastrous night against the Vikings, it's clear the franchise will do whatever it takes to keep Williams protected in his second season. And now I ask you, Bears fans, do you think Trey Smith could be the solution to our offensive line problems? Should we do everything possible to bring him to Chicago? Now let's move on to a topic we can't ignore. Tevin Jenkins. I ask you, can we afford to let him go in free agency? I say, no way. The Bears' offensive line has been a disaster this season. We started terribly in the first 3 weeks, with no chemistry and a play calling that didn't help. Mid-season, the line guys showed some improvement, but lately, it seems we've reverted to the initial problems. Now, we're at a critical point where the Bears need to add at least 3 starting linemen this offseason, and in the worst case, they could need up to 5. Darnell Wright is the only one guaranteed to return, and he's earned it. After a tough start, he has been outstanding. Since the game against the Packers, he has been one of the best tackles in the NFL, ranking as the 17th best tackle according to PFF. That's a big comeback. But after Wright, questions arise. Braxton Jones has 1 more year on his contract. He's probably been good enough to return for another season, but will he want a new contract? Additionally, with the Bears' rising draft position, they could be in line to select one of the top 2 tackles coming out of college, Kelvin Banks Jr. or Will Campbell. The center and right guard positions certainly need to be addressed. Coleman Shelton has made an admirable effort this year, but he's not good enough to be a starting center. Matt Pryor is an acceptable option as a backup guard or tackle who can start 4 to 5 games a year, but he can't be a starter on a playoff team. And then there's Tevin Jenkins. When he's healthy, Jenkins is a very good player. The problem is he's never been able to stay completely healthy. The good news is he's on track to play the most games in a season of his career. With one more start, he'll surpass his previous record of 13 games. If he ends the year starting 16 out of 17 possible games, that's something we would take. Jenkins also ranks as the 14th best guard according to Pro Football Focus this season. I know those ratings aren't everything, but without many true offensive line stats available, it's one of the few measurable metrics we can use. I understand there are health risks with Tevin Jenkins, but given the state of the Bears' offensive line, I don't think Chicago can afford to let him go. We'll have to pay him, of course. Trey Smith from Kansas City will probably become the highest-paid guard in the NFL this offseason. If he hits free agency, of course, the Bears should make him an offer he can't refuse. But he's likely to stay in KC. Jenkins won't get highest-paid guard money, but he certainly deserves a raise from his current $2.6 million cap hit. However, Chicago has plenty of cap space to spend. And outside of Smith, it's unlikely you'll find a more talented guard on the market than Jenkins. My plan for him would be to pay him around $12 to $14 million per year and give him a contract that makes him one of the top 10 highest-paid guards in football. Otherwise, you'd be relying on hitting on a mid-round draft pick or taking a risk with a free agent, which hasn't worked out at all. Pay Tevin Jenkins because he's good. Go to the draft and select 3 interior offensive linemen in April and sign 2 more to start building depth. I know Tevin Jenkins could be a bit risky given his previous health issues, but those haven't come up much this year. And given the deplorable state of the Bears' offensive line, I don't think they can afford to let go of a guard as good as him without having a top replacement. And now I ask you, Bears fans, do you agree that we must retain Tevin Jenkins at all costs? What do you think about paying him and building a solid line around him? I ask you, what do we need to take our defense to the next level? A dominant pass rusher. And I tell you this, the answer could be bringing back an old friend, a fan favorite, Khalil Mack. We all remember the excitement that Khalil Mack's trade to Chicago brought. It was a move that filled the fans with hope. In his first season with the Bears, Mack had an unforgettable performance, recording 12.5 sacks, 6 forced fumbles, and 47 total tackles. Although his time in Chicago didn't bring us a championship, he left a lasting impression. Fast forward to last year with the Los Angeles Chargers, and Mack proved he still has a lot to offer, recording 17 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, and 74 total tackles. A return to Chicago could be the spark the Bears need. Why might the Chargers let Mack go? The Chargers have a similar cap space to the Bears, with around $76 million. However, they have many high-profile free agents they need to re-sign, like Asante Samuel Jr., J.K. Dobbins, Josh Palmer, Christian Fulton, Poona Ford, and Bradley Bozeman. Additionally, they already have 2 highly talented pass rushers in Joey Bosa and Tuli Tuipulotu. Re-signing a 33-year-old pass rusher who will likely demand a high salary puts the Chargers in a tough spot. The Bears desperately need help getting to the quarterback. This season, no Bears player is among the top 20 in quarterback pressure success rate, and their sack leader, second-year defensive tackle Gervon Dexter Sr., only has 5 sacks. Not to mention, the Bears are one of the worst teams in the NFL in total sacks. While free agency and the draft will present options, bringing back Mack would not only strengthen the defense, but also energize the fan base. His experience and proven track record could provide an immediate boost to the pass rush. Realistically, the Bears would only want to bring back Khalil Mack if it's at a reasonable cost to the team. At 34 next season, Mack would likely demand a contract in the range of $16 million annually, reasonable compared to elite pass rushers like Nick Bosa, $34 million per year, or our own Montez Sweat, $24 million per year. While younger options like Josh Sweat, Chase Young, and Azeez Ojulari will be available, Mack's familiarity with Chicago and his leadership on defense could make him an attractive option. Many Bears fans have long dreamed of Khalil Mack's return to Soldier Field, with some even calling for a trade before this season. Now, without the need for draft compensation, there's an opportunity to reunite with one of the franchise's most beloved players. Mack himself has expressed his appreciation for Chicago and his time as a Bear. If Ryan Poles wants to address an urgent need while delivering a sentimental win for the fans, bringing back Mack is the right move. And now I ask you, Bears fans, are you ready to see Khalil Mack in a Bears uniform again? Do you think his return could be the key to improving our defense? Bears fans, now I ask you, do you think Trey Smith could be the solution to our offensive line problems? Should we do everything possible to bring him to Chicago? Additionally, do you agree that we must retain Tevin Jenkins at all costs? What do you think about paying him and building a solid line around him? And finally, are you ready to see Khalil Mack in a Bears uniform again? Do you think his return could be the key to improving our defense? We want to hear your opinions and know what you think about these crucial topics for our team. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and be part of this incredible community of Bears fans. Together, we form a family that lives and breathes for our beloved Bears. Leave your comments, subscribe, and stay tuned for all the news and analysis. Go Bears! See you in the next video.